Yeah, I know, but you can't control the weather. Looks like if a hurricane ever hit this bitch, like, apparently, like, okay, so these windows. Fun fact, like all windows in Florida, I learned that are hurricane proof, so you can like pretty much like shoot.
Well, I would hope
You could hit a hockey puck. You could like take a slap shot. This thing wouldn't break.
Really?
Yeah, no, 100%. Like feel it. Like that's not glass. It's like
rubber.
it's like plexiglass they use for like a hockey rink.
We've made a lot of innovations.
And a lot of innovations here.
A lot of
Okay.
innovation. Yeah, we built it.
So you guys have like just from like sitting down with these guys, they have like more fucking stories than like anyone I've heard. Just because you guys have like been around and seen everything, it seems like, right?
We didn't record anything for like the longest time. Like there was no documentation of like the shit that we've like done the last like 5-7 years.
My biggest regret in life right now has not been
Like recording
content
Well, like,
for the past 10 years because we've really done a lot of cool shit.
I mean, some of it I'm
but-
glad didn't get recorded, but
I think is he too far away? You think he's good? Okay.
I rented a penthouse during COVID because it was the only place you could party
Yeah.
over on South Beach, and it was $15K a month.
Wow.
Lease.
That's dirt cheap.
But we really wanted to get out of Boston. It was like
Yeah.
so depressing, and we rented 2 Lambos. We
a couple boat parties.
were doing boat parties.
Well, there's nothing else to do because everything closed.
But
at,
the
like,
biggest
midnight.
thing was we had an endless supply of girls from the Northeast to fly down every weekend and stay with us. Every weekend
there was
we
a
had a
new
new shipment of girls, absolute rockets.
Right off the boat, right off the raft. Or were they off the raft? Or they from the
From
Were
Cuba?
they from
right
Cuba?
off the raft from Boston.
Oh, from Boston. Okay.
And I burnt out pretty quickly. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean,
it was like
it was a
back to
nonstop
back.
for like we went down in December and
Yeah.
came back at like mid-February, early February. We were there for like 2 months probably.
We burnt out after 2 months.
Yeah. It was like 2 months of like every day we would just like we were doing SLS was like the only thing that was open because it was outside. It was during COVID, so everything in Miami shut down at like midnight, and then except for like a couple of the strip clubs, and even then they got closed down pretty quick too. So like we had nothing else to do. We had like this rooftop at the penthouse, and we would just have people over there, or go to like SLS. Like that was the only other thing there was to do. So we were like at SLS like regularly.
Yeah.
It was a shit show. Like we were just out every day. Like it was fun though.
So what were your like places when you were like just starting to go out? Like where were you guys like situated? Like when you just started 21, I guess. So.
We weren't 21, but
Well, when we started,
Well, when you start,
Yeah.
I guess,
I was. Oh, when I was 21,
yeah. Like where'd you live when you were like in college?
I was
years,
back
I
and
guess?
forth between Boston and Colorado.
Yeah. Were you going to Boston at all then or no?
we
Yeah.
did, but Boston wasn't the same then, right? Like
Yeah.
it was like those shitty it was like going on like Tia's and stuff.
Yeah. We were sneaking in with ideas at Tia's. Tia's Thursdays was like the thing.
The place.
Yeah.
Well, Luke had like an apartment in the North End that overlooked, like you could see Tia's, you could see like the line and shit. That was like the spot when it was like intern Thursday. Like everybody who had like an internship or a co-op would go there. And
Yeah.
then there wasn't many like clubs or anything in Boston at the time. I mean, there was like Storyville and like the shittier like basement. There was just a bunch of basements really.
Yeah.
And then the Grand opened, and I went there like the third night it opened, and I was like, oh shit, this place is legit. And
So
then
yeah, so what do you guys think of like Southie, like the whole like Southie, like you know what I mean, like the Southie typical bro that's like, you know what I mean, like the whole. What do you think of like the Southie?
We've
scene?
outgrown it.
Yeah.
I think we've graduated from Southeast State.
Okay.
we were never
But I
like
still have a great time there, but I just can't be there in the winter.
we were never like
Yeah.
super bro. We weren't like the frat kid like Southie. Like I mean, we did a lot of the regular stuff.
What do you think the Southie acceptable age is?
Well, I don't know. We're probably past it though.
No.
Well, there's the Southeast Senior League. That's what it's called.
What's a Southie Senior League?
Southeast Senior League is like probably 30, 31 plus. You're
Okay.
still going out in Southie all the time.
You're still ripping pucks around like type beat.
Yeah.
Pucks deep.
I mean,
I'm in the senior league.
Yeah,
I dabble in the senior league. But I'd like to take big breaks for sure.
Yeah.
it's
I
tough,
mean-
and the winter is the worst.
I think when the girls first get to Southie, they don't want anything to do with you. They're like, why is this creepy old guy talking to me at Lincoln?
Yeah.
And then they get bored of that, and they start going into the clubs and stuff, and like they realize like that they need the older guys to support. But
Well, I think something changed. There was like a climate change when like there was a
climate change.
Birds flocks south.
There was a climate change when the clubs opened, and people realized when the Grand opened, like there was all these like rich older dudes that were paying for tables. And
Yeah, it
obviously,
was the great migration of Southie.
yeah, it was. It was global warming, but for like clubs and girls. And then all of a sudden, this like Boston became like the same Miami concept where it's like the guys go to the guys' table, guys pays for everything, and then like it's kind of a free for all from there.
Because Boston wasn't always like a club scene. Right?
No,
there was
heavy
never like any
bars.
good clubs in Boston.
Yeah,
Yeah, the Grand had monopoly.
the Grand for the first 2 years was like legit.
Oh, it was the only show in town, wasn't it?
Yeah, it
There wasn't
was,
Big
yeah.
Night. There wasn't like.
Yeah, it was only the Grand, and then I worked there in the VIP doing stuff there for like after I reached out to the owner like because I went on the third night it opened. I was like, oh shit, this is legit, and I cold emailed him, found his email. I was like, hey, I was just trying to get in for free, but I was like, I'm from Boston, like I know a bunch of girls, like I'll come every night, whatever, bring people, and he's like, do you want to come in and interview for a job as a VIP host? And I was like, yeah, sure. And then it progressed from there. So like I was working there, they would all come in. They'd have like the best tables. Like we were all just I mean, it was the first 2 years were unreal.
Wow.
And then everything just kind of like slowed down, and then other clubs opened. And now there's more like now I'm with Marielle and Cavo doing that, and like they still come in, but Boston's different now. It's not like when we come down here, it's a lot more fun. I think. I don't know how you feel now, but things have definitely changed.
Yeah, we've got great diversity in our clubbing scene. We love diversity in our clubbing scene.
It does.
So
Boston
that's
gets a
good.
little repetitive though.
Yeah. But I didn't spend a ton of time there in my early 20s. I was always back and forth between Colorado and Boston.
Yeah.
How's it Colorado scene?
It's way more laid back. It's just like
You're smoking
breweries.
weed, like type beat.
Yeah, it's way more earthy, crunchy. And I was kind of like a dorky DJ out there. Like I was being a little dorky DJ, and I was like super into Bitcoin. Like I
You were
started
early on that.
I started the Boulder Bitcoin meetup
No way.
in 2011
For real?
with a bunch of other dorks.
So you just had like Bitcoin.
Dude, he
like,
was buying
Yeah.
like pizzas and hats online with like 3
I was
or 4
buying
Bitcoin.
Yeah, in college. I was buying a bunch of stuff with it that I probably shouldn't have been, and talking to people about it, and they're like, "Yeah, whatever, you're a dork." And
What made you like interested in Bitcoin?
just like the study of currency. Like if you study the history of currency,
Yeah.
like the best book you should ever read is called The Creature from Jekyll Island.
I've never heard of it.
It's like about the history of currency and how banks basically like the cycles of banks, how currency changes, and how you can just know like what's coming. There's always a change in currency as like it gets inflated to death. But basically, yeah. So I did that, and then I made a couple $100K on like the first Bitcoin wave up to like 50,000 or whatever. And then moved back to Boston. COVID started, and I was kind of like in a huge rut, like unemployed, sitting at home. Everything was closed. Everything was depressing.
Yeah.
And one day I just said, "Fuck it," and I basically hacked my trust fund.
What?
I sent a phishing email to my family's wealth management company.
What?
And
serious?
yeah, this is 100% serious.
No
Oh
way.
my god.
This is the truth.
Is this like if
is
they
the
see
breaking
this,
story?
it's gonna be like
Wow.
I'm
I don't even know.
pretty
this.
much the most hated man in wealth management. I got over 5 people fired.
Why?
So what did
From what I did, I basically exposed their security protocols. I sent a phishing email, and
what was the email like entitled like stuff?
What were you trying to do?
it was basically copied. It made him think it was my dad, and it said, "Hey, please send Luke $200,000 from his own trust fund. Please and thank you. Like, it was pretty simple.
It was that easy.
But it looked exactly like his email.
Yeah.
And they took the bait, hook, line, and sinker. The next day, I had $200K in my account. And I dumped it all into long-term Tesla call options,
Oh my god.
which turned into about $3 million over the course of the next few months.
Oh my.
Did you give it?
Did you
Did you
sell
give
it?
pay it back? Did you give the 200 back into the
No,
trust?
they didn't find out till 9 months later.
Oh, really?
So
How'd
I
they
went
fi-
out and
how'd
bought.
they find out?
I bought my Lambo immediately. I bought a boat.
Yeah.
Bought a house.
I've never
And
heard this.
Lukey Lambo was born. And nobody knows. Like, everyone has always speculated.
That's
I
a
wanna-
wheeze.
I want to make sure that this story is told properly.
This is insane.
Because people think that I just got money for doing nothing, and like there was some great skill involved. I skillfully extracted funds, and I skillfully invested, so everybody can go screw themselves. Quite frankly.
That was, dude. I've never heard that.
That's
I
an
figured it
insane
just kicked.
story.
I
Yeah.
figured it just kicked
So
in.
so 9 months later, my dad audited the financials
Of course, that's a very rich man.
and found out, and he was actually impressed. He just thought it was funny. He was mad. He was impressed. He wasn't really sure what to say, and he sat me down one day and he was like, "We need to talk about this." And I was like,
Did he ask you like what you did with the money?
Yeah, well, he knew that I had turned it into millions, and he was like,
How did he
"Look."
know that?
Well, 'cause he
Because
bought
I
a
went out
land-
and bought. Like,
Oh,
he
yeah.
was like, "How did you buy this $1 million house?
Yeah.
And how did you buy this boat and this car?" And like, he knew something was up. But nobody would ever just send you 200,000.
No.
Well, they did. Apparently.
Well, yeah.
They sent it all in one
So
day.
then he like lost his shit. The people got fired at the company, and it was like a big case study like amongst the wealth management community.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
They had-
Because like
the whole industry.
Yeah, but it wasn't like the money went to like it was kept in the
but
family.
Still, it was
So now most companies like have two-factor authentication,
Like protocols and
double
shit.
protocol authentication.
How did you send an email from like an email that wasn't your dad's though? Like how?
I made a spoofer.
Oh, you just made like a.
You can make a spoofer, so like it literally
reads
it,
as the email. As
It
their
looks just like the
His
email.
email.
His email. It said his email when it came from.
Oh, it did.
Yeah.
You can do that.
Yeah, I'm not giving anyone any ideas. Don't take any ideas.
email. We're not encouraging that.
We're not encouraging this unless you want help extracting your funds.
Yeah.
But
Dude, that's fucking wild.
So you put it into like you put like pretty much all 200K into Tesla.
pretty much. I mean, I traded a lot along the way. I had some other fantastic trades.
There was a couple
Zoom.
days when I was
Zoom
Yeah.
and Tesla were by far my biggest investments.
There was a
Zoom-
couple days
Zoom
when-
during the pandemic.
He was
Did you
work-
sell the top?
yeah.
You didn't
Yeah.
hold out.
he was working at home, like trading, because I was living with him at the time, and I remember there'd be days where he'd come out and he'd be like, 200 grand, and then there'd be days where he'd be like walking out like punching a wall. Like,
Yeah, there were days where I was punching holes in the wall. There were days where I would just like make a quick 40K in 10 minutes, and then I'd just like come
fuck
out
off for the
dancing.
rest of the
I'm
day.
about to bed.
Yeah.
Turn my swag on.
Dude, it was wild.
That's insane.
And then that
Yeah.
kind of that was like
And that's not
the-
sustainable. That's not sustainable.
but
And
that
then
was like the
that was
birth
just- you
of
didn't-
like Southie, like when we like were ripping it up.
yeah. No, well, trading during the pandemic was like totally different, and like
Well, because everything was so
in
volatile.
terms of the volatility, in terms of like the option contracts, the amount of contracts like that were available.
How'd you learn how to do that?
I learned from this guy, Tyler Chanelli.
Okay.
He has a course. There's a few other good guys that will teach you how to do it, but you got to make sure you've got some serious expendable income.
Yeah, because it's
It
really risky.
It is gambling. It is risky. It's the best return available to you in the casino that is the stock market.
Yeah.
If anyone tells you that the stock market is not a casino, they're lying.
Yeah.
But because the only strategy that works long time is straight up diversified investment.
Yeah, like not just like.
But you're not gonna get like you're gonna get like 5%, 10% returns, 20%. You're not gonna get
Yeah,
like
you'll average.
You're not gonna get
But
a
you got to
1,000.
invest
5
into
to 10
other things
returns.
like real estate, like stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not gonna get like 1,000% return.
I'm a big fan of tangible investments nowadays. Like even like
Give an example. of
Rolex watches, gold,
something. Okay.
real estate.
Yeah.
Income producing properties are by far the best.
Are you
thing.
getting into any real estate?
Yeah, I have 2 Airbnbs that crush it
Oh, nice.
in Boston.
And you guys partied a lot, and I'm guessing you did some other things.
Yeah,
too.
I mean, it was like we pretty much, well, everyone was getting like, I got laid off from my like tech sales company.
Yeah.
So from the startup, so I was getting
Unemployment.
unemployment, then double COVID unemployment. So
Yeah.
I was getting like 10 grand a month to do nothing. Like we would wake up, work out in his basement in the garage, go to the beach in Southie, go on a yacht party, go back, go to dinner, then take the yacht back out at night and have like a floating club. And then we did that for like
this is like, yeah.
the entire summer.
Boston actually has a pretty tremendous yachting scene in the summer.
Really?
Even if you're just watching this, you're not from Boston, like it's a good vacation.
Yeah.
Like come out, rent a yacht, go out in the Boston Harbor. Like we have yacht link ups that match anywhere pretty much.
Yeah, it's like 10, 15 boats just tied up.
Really?
Like it's a lot of fun, and people don't really realize. I don't know if it's widely advertised on social media. It's about to be once we get the boys going this summer.
No, yeah, definitely.
But
Okay.
for our like agency and whatever we do going forward,
But Rarity.
yeah, Rarity,
I like just the name Rarity.
Media.
That's kind of dope.
Yeah.
Rarity. It's
Rarity
kinda dope.
Talent.
Yeah, I think like the goal, I think the next step is just put like time and effort and money into like, I mean, like everything's on the internet. now.
Yeah.
Everything's people, if you're not making
gotta-
money, if you're not
yeah.
making money on the internet, then like, what are you doing? So
Exactly. Yeah.
I think the next biggest thing is to like help like this wave of like, we were talking the other day about everything's in a scroll format now. TikTok, Instagram, like there's learning like modules, things like that. Every piece of information news you're just getting in a short form, scrollable format, right? And like so that's why people like you, Pigeon, like influencer, like that's where people are capitalizing. But there's a gap between the 1% of people with 1 million plus followers that are making money in brand deals and stuff, and then there's the people that are like you making your own content, editing, trying to monetize it. So there's this window of like an opportunity for sales and brand partnerships that you guys don't have time for. So I think that's kind of where we're trying to fill the gap and need.
And that comes with matching brands to their specific talents, abilities, location, interests, which is already happening now. AI's getting involved with that.
Yep.
TikTok has a whole new creator platform where businesses and owners can go in and literally
Link their products.
draft
Yeah.
creators specifically to their products and services. But there's still a need for human interaction and analysis. The computer's not going to be able to pick up on all the social cues in the level of content that needs to be matched.
Yeah.
So I think there's still need for someone to do that analysis.
Yeah.
And talk to companies and really get to know them and get to know the creators and make sure that everything's
Well, yeah, especially for both the developing brands, smaller developing brands and smaller developing creators, right? Like they don't have the bandwidth to, do everything, right? Like these people with 1 million followers, 2
No, I
million
know.
followers have people doing it for them. So if you can fill a need for, connecting these smaller up and coming creators with brands that are in their industry or their niche, like that's where there's room to fill the gap in that need.
Do you have an idea of the monthly income you'd like to get to, and are you fully supporting yourself right now?
Yeah, no, I fully support myself off social media.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not by any means like I'm
Where you want to get to.
No, yeah, it's not by any means. I'm getting by for
Yeah,
sure, but it's
yeah.
not. It's not like I'm like fucking like
Right.
renting yachts and like like
Yeah.
shit like that.
How much are you making direct? Not like you don't have to give like a number, but like what percentage of your current income comes from literally just content? Like
Or sponsorships.
Pretty much like
All of it.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I make money off Snapchat.
How
I make
much of
money
it
off-
is reoccurring and how much of it is
Oh, it's
one-off?
not. It's not reoccurring at all. It's more sporadic. So
Yeah.
like some months will have like a really good month.
Yeah.
Like, and then you make a good amount of money where you have a few brands you work with. But it's not just me that I'm doing brands with. It's also like I run a big page that like we help, that I help like get brand sponsorships for. My roommate helps me and my roommate run it, and we make money through that. And then like I'm also like I help my other friend do it too. And then like sometimes we get like one from me here and there. But it's not by any means like a ton. Not making a lot, but I definitely would like to be
No, we're gonna make that happen.
making more for
We're
sure.
gonna make that happen.
Well, yeah. Wouldn't it be nice to have someone working in the back? You're doing that for other people,
because I
right?
feel like I need to grow. Yeah, I need to like focus more on like just growing my page, rather than just like trying to make money all the time just to like survive.
Right.
Like my cost of living is like so low though. Really, like in Dallas, my rent is like dirt cheap. Like literally like. Cost of living in Texas is like not expensive. Like Massachusetts is like wait. That's why I moved to Dallas. Like if I did this in Miami, it probably wouldn't work.
Right.
I would probably have to get another job. So like it would. It's just it's all about time, place, people you're with, like stuff like that.
We've done.
Yeah, it seems like you guys like know a lot of people.
Yeah, we
like,
do.
Like it's just like you guys are just like constantly like I don't know. Like it just seems like you guys like know.
We just
Well,
have
maybe
never
'cause
leveraged.
We do. We just haven't leveraged it.
We've
Yeah,
never,
you
we've
need
never
to.
had a
Like,
need.
that's what
We've
I'm
never had a
saying.
need. We've never had a need to.
We've
but-
been
Yeah.
concealing our power level, and 2024 we're blowing up.
Yeah, you should. Like you should. Like for example, like if you wanted to do like a podcast and like X person. And you
Well,
can get them on, like what I
yeah.
mean, like stuff like that. It doesn't. It doesn't even need to be like a podcast thing. Like
But
if you like, it's anything.
It's really about finding a way to profit sustainably off of bubbles, right? Like
yeah,
what was it? 21, 22 was the NFT bubble.
yeah, NFT.
And who are the guys making money off of that? The guys making NFTs for people.
Yeah, the
guys,
top. Well, the top people.
the
too,
developers making shit coins for people.
obviously. Yeah.
It wasn't. Not everybody made money on their shit coin.
No, I know. Yeah.
Like
tons of
it was
people lost.
the guys that sell the shovels during the gold rush. That's who makes the most money or more sustainable.
Yeah.
Because it's not just one thing that they're banking on. They're selling services
Both sides.
to the bubble.
Yeah.
So now we have a podcast bubble. Obviously, we have a content bubble.
Content bubble, 100%.
Everyone's trying to be a celebrity. Everyone's trying to be an influencer.
Which I don't really see ending anytime soon, right? Like
No.
crypto NFTs, like that was a bubble. Like, everyone saw it. It was like that's a wave. Like you know, like
it's a
But
wave.
instead of being like
But-
that content, like we're not trying to be creators. We're using what we have.
We're
from-
going to be creators for our specific business.
Sure,
You have to be
yeah.
able to sell on the internet. But what it is really is everything's getting clipified. So instead of going and shopping boringly on Amazon, people are going to start shopping from clips on TikTok, scrolling through clips where the algorithm has already identified specifically what they're interested in. And it's
and I think
way
Amazon
more targeted.
is and that's so funny you say that because I think Amazon already came out with like something that like they're coming out with like a Reels.
Exactly.
It's
Amazon,
crazy. Like, you can,
Amazon
like, go on and,
already
like,
knows.
scroll.
Well, it's this generation's brains. That's how they learn. They obtain and keep
It's just
information.
it's a better, more efficient way of getting information.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, Amazon is going to start to lose billions in sales to TikTok if they do not get their act together. It may
TikTok
already be
is killing it
It may
already.
already be too late because TikTok's strategies. TikTok has all the creators, the ability. They didn't have licensing in the U.S. And the reason the U.S. Congress may have been wanting to ban TikTok is because of Amazon's and the big tech's influence and lobby donors because of this new wave of learning and shopping. They didn't want TikTok to get involved. They didn't want to get licensed. They weren't licensed in all 50 states and set up to sell that the way they are now.
Yeah.
So for this year, and it could be a side hustle for anyone to just go out, find something that sells well on Amazon, and match it with creators.
Yeah. I think everybody's like I think Gary Vee says this a lot. Do you watch Gary Vee at all? Like
Yeah.
he says this a lot. Like people, Gen Z, which is like my age, are realizing like they don't need to work like normal 9-to-5 jobs to make it happen. You know,
Right.
Like a lot of my friends who graduated college are like working jobs they don't like. In reality, to things where you could easily make money online. Like for example, like I started my brand like almost a year ago from today, and like I'm not saying like I'm killing it by any means, but like I'm on the way to get there.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm making steps to like work for myself and like be my own boss type thing. And that's what I've always wanted to do, and that's like what my inspiration has been.
It's
too.
a blessing and the curse because it gives you immense freedom. It gives you the ability to travel. It gives you the ability to make your own schedule. But you've also got to be self-accountable, self-motivated. You're not going to have an office environment. You're not
Yeah.
going to have people cracking the whip for you. And you've got to be able to build something that's sustainable and manageable. But like, you know, really like the tools that are available now, the AI tools, the ChatGPT, like every day there's a new AI tool that makes being creative, you know, like these are things that were only available to computer coders a year ago.
Yeah.
And now anyone can basically code something and change software using English language.
Yeah.
Like you can go and make changes to an app without knowing any coding. It'd be like ChatGPT, I've got this issue. What language should I use? What this like you can really like experiment with ChatGPT and like get really, really deep and specific, and it will learn based on what you're asking.
Yeah.
You can get more and more and more and specific. And I'm not going to give any of my top ideas away for free, but I have a system now where I can make hundreds of AI videos a day.
Really?
And we'll shortly be releasing hundreds of AI clips a day to sell specific products.
Like instead of when you like edit all your own videos and do all your that shit, right? Like
Yeah.
I was in I remember when Instagram first came out. I was like a senior or junior in high school.
See, you're not like that much. So how old are you?
I'm 31.
Yeah, you're not that. Okay,
I'm
so
29.
yeah, so when Instagram started, I was probably like in maybe like
Well,
elementary school. So I wouldn't even be using Instagram anyway.
I was using Facebook at 13 when
Facebook,
when I went to boarding school.
Yeah.
Because at the time you could only use Facebook if you had a college email. And my school had a .edu email, so we could get Facebook.
Oh, okay. Wow.
And
So you were like one
so
of the
we were
first.
sneaking on there, being cool, and I had all these like goofy pictures on there, and one of them was like
Because
me.
people used to post like same with Twitter. Like people used to just post like random stuff, like eating food.
Oh, dude, I'm sure I could go back to my fucking Facebook timeline and be like, going to this party tonight. Like,
Yeah,
where you guys
there
at?
was
Like,
a-
just
yeah.
stupid little shit.
There was a picture of me with my aunt's like two little frou-frou dogs, and I was like laying down. It was like the most like preppy, like douchey picture of all time. I was in like a collared shirt, and somebody made it the background of every computer in the entire school permanently for several months till they figured out how to fix it. So everyone's logging into the computer lab, and it's just me sitting there with like two little frou-frou dogs in my pink collared douchey shirt.
Did they think you did it?
No, they knew I didn't do it, but like
Did they ever
I did
figure
a
out
lot.
who did it?
It was an Indian kid who was pretty. He was a prankster.
Yeah, boarding school's hilarious.
Brian's boarding school is wild, man.
You guys seen some like crazy shit like in Miami, Florida? Like where's like the craziest shit happening in Florida or Miami? I mean Florida or Boston, sorry.
Miami.
Miami, for sure.
I mean, I really haven't spent as much time here as I'd like to. I'm excited for the next couple months, but Brickell really feels like the new Manhattan. Like,
Yeah.
especially for people, 25 to 35, like
Yeah, we
that
were
are
saying
doing
that
something
yesterday.
with their life. I just feel like the economy is better here because so much of it's on the internet, and like internet people are here, and therefore there's like a better economy for younger people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's a
We'll
good
get,
intro,
we'll, get,
boys.
we'll get another one on the boat on
Yeah.
Saturday.
Yeah,
Talk some more. We can tell some more party stories.
I
But
think we had a lot of good shit.
yeah,
yeah, that was good.
that was good.